Well, it's Saturday morning. Thanks for tuning in. It is JW's Radio. Appreciate it, you folks. Appreciate you folks watching. All the viewers here, the subscribers. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, consider it. Check it out. We got a lot of things going on in this channel. We do have quite a bit of videos rolling through, a lot of different topics. So, and JW's Radio, of course, is a time to slow down a little bit. Enjoy the morning and look at the reflection of what we just did from the last radio show. We had quite a few videos, maybe just a few. Alright, so some of the things that we had the through night, okay, the TIHI. That's a titanium little light. We did the review. Currently kind of filming the torture test or durability test, whatever you want to call it, with this thing. So thus far what we have done with it. We're still working on some more tests in a sense. So we did trying to change it up from the other lights that we've done. You know, I just don't want to like start rehashing the same tests in a sense. So what we got, we put this in a water bottle, and we put a little food coloring in there so you can see the water a little bit easier because it was at night, and threw it down on concrete. I'm not sure exactly what that would prove, but I just changed it up a little bit. We tossed it, threw it down so hard it actually broke the water bottle. The light did stand through it. We did a couple drop tests, really throwing it down onto solid concrete. At one point it shut off, but I think that was mostly because of the way it turns on and off by just twisting it. So I think it wasn't actually tightened on all the way. We did have the clip, which actually somebody asked me, does it have a pocket clip? It does. It's a stainless steel pocket clip. I just couldn't find it during the making of the review, honestly. I had lost the box somewhere, but I found the clip anyway, put it on there. We did have the clip kind of fall off because it got tweaked when it hit the ground. It probably got bent, but with a little bit of minor finger bending on it, we got it back into shape. So still going, still doing the test, and things got a little hot with it. We did light it on fire for fun, and it did notice right after that the lens was kind of had like a little mark on it, maybe clouding, but I don't see it now, so that may have gone away. But pretty durable stuff. Lightweight, even being titanium, I thought it was going to be lighter than what it is, really, because the Through Night TI3, if you guys remember that, it's pretty much the same light, and without the battery, just the shell itself, this is actually significantly lighter. I did some weighing it on a little gram scale. I didn't really want to show that because it's just, I don't know, we just never really wanted to, just never made it. So, but just by telling the difference already, just by holding it in my hand, empty without the battery, the tube itself, it was this one was surprisingly a lot lighter. And from the results I got with this one, really, I was expecting, I mean, pretty much go figure, this is going to pretty much stand up to it. So far we've done, we got these two lights, a pen light and a headlamp, that have stood through quite a bit of abuse. Abuse beyond, I think, what it would normally encounter, really, for these small lights as an EDC, keychain light in your pocket, whatever. I think it's you're throwing it on concrete over and over again, throwing it in buckets of water and things like that. I think it's beyond what you're really going to encounter with them, and they stand through it. They really do. They're pretty durable. So, yeah, so that's what we're kind of working on with that. We talked a little bit, I showed you that video on 9mm wax bullets. That is an interesting little thing, because I did notice that in the 9mm casing, when that wax is really tucked in there, and it's tight, it's really tight. And when that primer goes off, and it's just a primer, it does some serious damage. It will break a beer bottle or a glass bottle, a drinking bottle. We shot it at a tree at my friend's place. He actually did it. He just was, he didn't think it would do much, and it actually created quite a damage, you know, to the bark and everything, which I don't know, you know, it will break a full soda pop can. If you shake one of those up and throw it out there, it will blow it up. No different than really a 22. So really shocking, as I did turn some of my 44 Magnum shell casings into that same method, boring out the flash hole to reduce the primer backing out. And some people did actually in that video, why did I not just use the original primers? Well, because I wanted to get the primer out of there, and so I just shot it. But you know, I could have probably pushed the wax in there and muscled it through, but when you're dealing with that kind of a tight fit and you have the primer already in there, it has a lot more resistance. Obviously you're compressing air and it's like wanting to pop it back out. But anyway, and to enlarge the flash hole, because especially if you're doing it for a revolver, you go and fire that thing, the primer is going to back out and you're going to be grinding it against the face of your revolver inside the frame there. It's not going to work. So I wanted to get rid of that, bore it out a little bit, plus for the punch that I have to remove the old primers. So yeah, that's kind of why I did that. Of course, we have the guns we're going to talk about this time around. So not a lot of videos that came out prior to the last JW's radio. Okay, for those of you that follow me on my daily vlog channel, Day in the Life, that is Combat 86 Radio Show. The link is in the description below. If you care to follow me on there, it's pretty much everyday vlogging. Just kind of, you know, I've been having fun with that, doing stuff like that. I'd like to say I'm not trying to neglect the main channel here, as I do want to produce content on it, but we do have some really interesting videos coming up. Trying to get a hold of some of the more modern polymer guns to do reviews on that kind of stuff. Again, I'll answer that question. A lot of people say, hey JW, how many guns do you own? Well, not many actually. The majority of the guns that you see that are like new stuff that just pop up randomly and then you usually don't see it again are guns that we've had on loan. The guns that you see over and over and over again are generally my guns. We use them for examples and whatnot, so they pop up and everything like that. So, but yeah, we do. We're fortunate. I'm fortunate to have friends that people that, hey, you know, here, I do a review on my gun. I got this gun, you know, or at the shop, if something's neat that's in there that we can do a video on, we'll do it. So anyway, so we got a couple of videos. We got an interesting one coming up. We have a Glock with a broken slide. I want to do a video on that and talk about that. And again, to kind of just look at that, people, I know it's going to cause a lot of stir up a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a Glock or it's a, you know, 1911 or anything like that. These are all mechanical devices. They all move. They have a job that they're doing. They're dealing with pressure. It's like a car. It's going to break down. Eventually it breaks down. So from what I gather from the damage that is done to the Glock slide and everything where it's broken, is this is caused by heavy mileage. A lot of shots, a lot of times that slide is reciprocating off, you know, going back and forth, and it does break down. So it does happen. From what research I did on it, I did look it up a little bit, and that's what I gather. Of course, I'm not a professional at it. I'm just kind of giving you guys the facts of somebody from basically all my videos. I like to use it as a standpoint of just the backwoods kind of videos. Nothing special, nothing crazy and all that kind of stuff, but just kind of plain, hey, it's just me telling you what I see. Anyway, all right, so also we have the video on that SIG, that P250. That's a really interesting gun, because the gun itself, you just pretty much take out that the takedown pin really and remove the entire modular system in its inside, and you can toss that in any other frame. You can go and buy the frame and slide right off the internet, no problem, because that modular area, that whole trigger housing with the hammer and everything, that's the gun. That is the gun. That's what for those like in this state, we have to register them, so that's what's registered. But everything else, we can just buy it, ship it right to our door, and there you have it. So pretty cool on that. I wanted to show that came in. Again, that's not my gun, but it did come in, and it's one of the guns. Personal thoughts on it, not something I would buy. I just it's just not a gun that I would buy. It does, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to badmouth SIG or anything like that, but it just felt a little too just for the money, I could buy something a whole lot better, I think. That's just my opinion. You're welcome to have your own, but be nice in the comments, right? Okay. So, all right. So what do we got here? What are we talking about here? Well, particularly, we're not really talking about these specific guns, but I brought out these guns for a reason. I brought out just basically a 1911, and I brought out a single action. This is my Cimarron Frontier model. It's clear, and this is in .45 Colt. Okay, and shortly we're going to be doing a review. Hopefully, get it filmed and everything, and edit it and get it up to the channel. We got a Uberti El Patron 357 Magnum that we're going to be doing. But anyway, the reason I brought these out as an example is because friends of mine are starting to buy guns now. They've never really bought guns, and this is kind of referring to something that was taught to me back when I first started buying guns. Okay, first rule of thumb is look at the availability of the ammunition, what it takes to put food into that gun, basically, in a sense. What does it need? You know, how much does it cost to keep putting magazines or keep filling up that cylinder to put lead down range? Okay, 45 ACP is not exactly the cheapest pistol round that you can go and buy. I mean, of course, there's all. I'm sure. I mean, there's more expensive pistol rounds. Yes, we all know that. But I'm talking about your major food groups. You got your 9, your 40, your 45 for semi-auto. That's pretty much what people are buying. 9mm is the cheaper. At least that's what I found. That goes back to where I was looking when I was first buying a Glock. It was a choice between a Glock 22, which is the 40 caliber, and a Glock 17, which is the 9mm. The first thing I did after, of course that was taught to me, was go down to the local box store and check out the box store prices for that ammunition. I found that, yes, the 9mm during that time was about $5 cheaper than it was to shoot 40 caliber. So went with the 9mm. It's just something to think of. And I noticed that some people do not think about that. They just think, wow, this is a really cool gun, yeah, oh yeah, 45, but then they buy it, they get it and all that, and then they go look at the ammo and they go, holy smokes, man, it's kind of pricey for that ammo, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, and the reason I brought out this 45 Long Colt. 45 Long Colt, last I remember seeing it and actually purchasing a box or two just for the brass. This was before I bought a whole bunch of brass online, just the brass itself, because I reloaded it. It was like $41.99 for a box of 50. That's just plain lead stuff. I mean, that's almost a buck a shot after tax and everything. You're pretty much right at there, close enough in my book. But and there again, that was about 3 years ago, so I can imagine what it's up to now. But 45 Long Colt is not exactly cheap to shoot. Of course, it's not really something that most people are buying as far as a revolver goes. Mostly we're talking about revolvers. You're talking 38 or 357 Magnum. So anyway, just something I wanted to talk about is knowing the cost of the ammunition to the gun you're buying before you actually make that commitment to buy that gun. And that's mainly referring to kind of the new shooters, the new people getting into it. Of course, for most of us, the gun enthusiasts, right? I think I owe them $1 for that. And we kind of know what to expect. If I go to the store and I'm looking at a 45, I know that when I'm buying that, I know what to expect for cost of ammo and what it's going to be to feed that gun, okay, and recoil and etc. and all that kind of stuff. So the other thing is I want to talk about is 22. When you buy a 22 semi-auto anything, from my experience, this is my experiences, is depending on what kind of 22, who makes it, it may be picky with the ammo. Okay, I have a Walther PPK in 22 that will not shoot this Winchester stuff. Of course, it's not the greatest stuff in the world. It's just Winchester white box, 555 rounds. It won't shoot it. But it will shoot the Remington Viper, the Remington Golden Bullet, CCI Mini Mags, etc., those type of bullets. But it does have trouble with this. It does have hiccups. In fact, it's not just once in a while. You can't even strip off a 10-round mag without like a few problems. In fact, I think it's like every shot or every other shot, something's wrong with it. So it's something to think about. You don't want to buy that gun that may be like, you know, hey, a great example of that from what I had experience with is the Advantage Arms conversion kit for the Glock to turn it into a 22. Right away after I bought that kit, back when I did, the first thing I read was this letter that says, oh, by the way, it works best with this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, really? Seriously? You buy this gun and you got to use a certain brand of 22 ammo? And sure enough, yeah, bulk stuff, Winchester, Federal stuff, it wouldn't feed in, it would jam all the time. Fella that sold it to me said it's a brand new gun, you got to break it in. No, I just read online and stuff like that, and pretty much everybody had that same problem. I wound up returning the thing, getting rid of it. I did have the Kimber 1911 conversion kit. That's an old video, actually, I'm thinking. That kit worked. I would buy one of those again, but then again, I'm not the biggest 22 guy either. So that's something to think of. On the high note on that, the Rugers, whatever Ruger's doing, they're doing something right, because their 22s feed just about anything. Their 10-22 rifle is just like, you can feed anything through that thing. Same goes for their Mark III pistols and their new or not new, but the newest SR22. That little one, and it's a really nice pistol. It has a nice felt recoil for, you know, something to react to and everything like that. It is a tiny gun, but anyway, so that's just some stuff I wanted to talk about right there, and just kind of get that out on the table, right? So now you can, what I learned is you can spray this stuff with dry silicone, the stuff that goes on wet and dries immediately, but I recommend only to you handfuls at a time, what you're going to actually shoot at the range. So anyway, all right, so on the other note, coming up, like I said, I was mentioning that Uberti El Patron that we're doing in 357 Magnum. Now, being it's in 357 or 38 or whatever, there's a lot more metal. It's the same size there, but there's a lot more metal in the cylinder and the barrel. Okay, it's thicker. That's a good thing, right? Thicker, lasts longer. Okay, the only other thing about that is it's a heavy gun. Now, there's one thing about the 45 Long Colt is it doesn't need to have all the, because it's such a big round. There's not much metal there. Now, I know that probably going, what? I don't want that gun. The 45 Long Colt is not that high of a pressure of a round in comparison to 357 Magnum. If you listen to what Bob Munden said, all right, if you don't know who Bob Munden is and you're into guns, shame on you. Look him up, okay? Bob Munden actually talked about this, and that's why Bob Munden always liked the 45 Colt. It was a lighter gun. It was lighter for him to use in matches and do his things that he was doing, and that's true. Okay, then everything is thick enough to handle that round. Okay, I've even fired some pretty stout 45 Colt rounds out of this thing with no damages, even a full case of black powder. All right, so it's just something that I'm throwing out there. I don't think I'm going to mention it in the actual video as far as a comparison to the this, and it's kind of a touchy thing when you say, well, there's a lot less metal. Anytime you use those type of words when it comes to this stuff, people just go, I mean, it's like mass hysteria. Oh, but just think about it, So, and and I'm not gonna lie. Every now and then, you get a lemon. Thanks for watching, you guys. That's it for today. Enjoy your morning. That's JW's Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Again, if you want to, check out my daily vlog channel. That's Combat 86 Radio Show. The link is in the description below. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Bad Man Bullets, for sponsoring us with the lead to do our shooting videos. That's a really great help from them. I am wearing Mr. Holster's winnings from his sock show. That's his hat that I got on right here. And Through Night for sending along the flashlights for us to do these wonderful videos with it and bring a little bit more variety to the channel. It's totally awesome. So, again, thank you all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, as I said already. See you next time on JW's Radio, but enjoy the rest of the content on the channel.